You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
what will I become?
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name's Ken. I'm here in the studio with Jeff and Neal, as per usual.
Yeah, a little sweaty today. I don't think it smells because I have a nice musk. But
it's finally hot out.
It is hot. I just walked 2.5 miles and just walked right in here right now.
I'm wearing like surfer bomb attire though. I don't know what this is.
Look like you're either training for some sort of kumite or you're
it's
doing yoga.
It's surfer bomb evening wear when it gets a little cool.
Pacific Sun evening wear.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, online here we have Kim Kardashian's original cameraman, Matt. Did I use that one yet? I don't think I
No, he hasn't. No.
I don't believe so. No, you three discussing the weather is a tradition unlike any other.
I know, right?
I appreciate it.
It's like we have no other hobbies.
That's because we live here.
Well, we're sweating our asses off here in the studio today. That's why.
We are.
Always.
Articles of clothing will be coming off, I'm sure, within the hour. At least for me.
Exciting. For an audio.
It is exciting for an audio medium, but we have some exciting guests here to make sure that we don't take any of our items of clothing off. We're going to start with
or drain the entire podcast of all of its energy.
That's true, yeah. So we're going to introduce a Dutch enthusiast on Patreon. We always love having him on the show, coming to us from Pittsburgh and keeping the Triviality spirit alive with all of the Yinzers, I believe is the right term. David Fudor. How are you, David?
Neal, I'm great. It is great to be back with the full group. For some people who might know this, I started supporting the Patreon, the guys on Patreon here, and then I've now shifted into hosting bar trivia in Pittsburgh, and it is always fun when I'm on one of these shows and a team comes in and says they've heard me on Triviality, and I'm happy to spread the word. It makes it harder to crib questions from your games because I know teams have been listening, but it is always a pleasure to be here with you guys.
You just got to dig a little deeper from beyond the last 10 weeks, and I think you'll be fine.
That's true.
Yeah, get all the weird questions we used to do because we were running out of time. We're always pleasure to have you here. And
it's always Ambrose Bierce.
Ambrose Bierce, right? It's always fun to hear when people listen to the show too. So definitely send them our way if they mention that. And our special guest host today is someone who's also been on the show several times, and we love having on the show. Rules Guy impersonator. On Patreon, Lauren Couchois. How are you, Lauren?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing amazing. And this is your second game, and you said you were a little nervous this time, and your sister was ribbing you a little bit?
Yeah, just like, good family members do. I guess the last time I hosted, she's not wrong. I was super excited. And but she told me I sounded like a school kid who was really excited to show her parents the project she'd been working on. And the accuracy of that statement embarrassed me to my core. So this time around, I'm trying to take it down a few octaves and be a little bit more me, which is not chill. So I'm going to try my best.
Well, you're not excited at all this time, right? That's the idea. You're like miserable to be here.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be back.
Miserable to be here.
Here we go again.
She'll do her best.
Well, we gave your
She made a diorama for this episode too.
Yeah, right.
I believe.
We gave your episode last time an A+, so I'm sure this one will be just as good. But we're gonna have
we grade all of our own episodes.
Exactly.
In red pen, but only we see them. We're going to have two teams, obviously, as we normally do. Matt's going to score keep today, and David pointed across the room to Jeff to partner with Jeff. And what's your team name going to be today?
Well, Neal, because I am watching the Sunday at the Masters right now, that's when we're recording this episode. We are, me and Jeff, we are clearly masters of our own domain, masters of our domain. That's our team name.
All right, and this team with David and Jeff seems really strong. We're not feeling confident, so me and Neal will be significant shrinkage.
Like a frightened turtle.
Yes, that's right. But we can't have the game without the rules, so let's toss it over to Darren.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
And you, Triviality, I'm talking to you. You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
All right. Well, we've got everything that we need. Let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right. So last time I hosted, my game was themed around food. This game doesn't have a theme, but because I pretty much just lack original thought, it's all based on movie quotes. Nothing to do with the quotes or the movies, but that's how I came up with these questions. So question 1. The company Samsonite, largely known for its luggage, got its name from its founder, who is an intensely religious man. He named his first suitcase Samson in tribute to the biblical strongman. According to the biblical account, what type of animal did Samson slay with his bare hands?
I would think so. I mean, if you have to kill a bear first to grab the hands, to wear the hands, that would probably be the most likely animal that you'd slay.
After you killed the bear.
Right.
Yeah. All right. We're locked in, I think.
All right, David, I guess this is the part that I wasn't paying attention to in Sunday school, because I know that Delilah cut his hair, and then all of a sudden he wasn't fighting nothing
They
no
just
more.
skipped the good part with the animal fight?
Yeah, apparently I missed out on the animal fight, so any ideas what animal
Then
he
right
was
to barber
said to
school.
have bested?
He suplexed a giraffe.
I don't really know that one either. I was assuming it was going to be a hair question, and then it swerved. My first thought was maybe a lion, but I didn't know if it was...
am I channeling the Daniel of the Lion's Den fame for this one?
Well, that might be. Maybe I have my Old Testament allegories backwards in my head. I don't know.
I'm good with lion, though. That's also where my head was at.
Okay, if that's what we're both thinking, let's lock in with lion.
All right, and like the proverbial lion tamer, hopefully we're not going to get bit by this question.
Well, we said lion, and if the theme is movies, that is a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. It's lion.
Oh, nice.
All right.
What they didn't
Number
tell
2.
you is that it was like a 2-month-old cub.
Yeah, right.
Still actually a monster.
Still a lion.
He's just a big
Just little Simba
a-hole.
getting destroyed. Number 2. Marvin Hamlish was an American composer and conductor and one of only 2 people to have surpassed EGOT status and earn the status as PGOT winner, having won a Pulitzer Prize, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He won the Pulitzer Prize for his musical contribution for which Broadway musical that centers around 17 dancers trying to make it on Broadway?
We can lock in.
Thought so.
Well, I thought I knew it, and now I'm doubting myself.
What did you think? What was your?
It's either a chorus line or company, but now because I thought immediately it was a chorus line, and then I'm like, well, company would actually make sense too, but
yeah,
I think the songs in chorus line make more sense.
Okay. I like either of those, and a chorus line makes perfect sense to me as well.
I think it's a chorus line.
Okay.
I would lock in with that one.
And we also locked in with a chorus line.
Very good. It is a chorus line.
Have you ever done a chorus line, Lauren, or no?
God, no. My biggest fear would be singing in front of anybody.
I'm sure you could handle it. Christina can give you a
Are you
few
asking
pointers.
about singing or the Rockettes? Or I didn't know if you were asking about like the kick line.
Well,
Isn't that also
that's in the chorus line. Yeah, got a lot of tap in there and stuff, a lot of dance.
I guarantee you Neil's done it.
Oh, well, maybe not the show officially, but I've done it in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3. O'Doyle Rules is a beer that you can get from the Evil Genius Beer Company, located in Philadelphia. The company makes other beers with catchy names such as I'll Have What She's Having, Holy Schnikes, and a beer named after what hit single from Fountains of Wayne?
Got a pretty good idea, David.
I do too.
We can lock in. I love that you said O'Doyle Rules, though, the Billy Madison reference. So yeah, we're gonna lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to hijack this, but you sort of think of like funny little anecdotes. I was just coaching my son's flag football team today, and it's funny Lauren talked about O'Doyle Rules because my son is in an age bracket now where he was 9 years old and now he's like 12 years old. He's at the upper age of the flag football, so it's literally like the Billy Madison dodgeball game on the football field. My son is like 10 inches taller than some of the other kids there. So it's funny that because I was actually going to talk about O'Doyle rules on the intro, but I think this one's Jeff, Stacy's mom. Is that where we're going to go with?
I think so. And hopefully, like the O'Doyles, I hope the other team's all going down.
There you go.
Now, Matt, did you once say you were too big to play football?
That is correct. Yes.
So I hope he doesn't befall Matt's fate and is not allowed to play football based on being big. Yeah, we said Stacy's mom as well.
Very good. It's Stacy's mom. And yeah, I just want to clarify before we keep going. This game is not movie themed whatsoever, but I just couldn't think of questions. So I came up with what are the things I say more often than I should? Yeah. And I wasn't sure if I was going to go with O'Doyle rules or if peeing your pants is cool quote for a question. And I went this route. So I'm glad you guys all got it. Good job.
That's one of the many reasons for which I am like Miles Davis.
That's right.
Hey, Sideburns, you want some of this milk?
Okay. Number 4. The Conn Smythe Trophy is awarded annually to the MVP of each team during the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. It is named after Conn Smythe, the longtime owner, general manager, and head coach for which Eastern Conference NHL team?
All right. Well, I'm not sure, so we're just gonna guess a Eastern Conference team and wish for the best.
Yeah, I know Conn Smythe is Canadian, and so that really cuts it down. Yeah, it cuts about half of it out. So the question was, is it the Canadiens, the Senators, or the Leafs? And I think it's Toronto.
Ooh, interesting. I would have said Montreal, but I knew it was either. It's not gonna be Ottawa. It's either
no,
gonna be
it's definitely
Montreal
not
or
Ottawa.
Toronto.
Let's be nobody cares about Ottawa.
No, it's not gonna be Ottawa. It's not gonna be. Your inkling was Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Okay, let's go with that because I it was a coin flip between Montreal and Toronto, so let's go Maple Leafs.
Okay, we're going with the Leafs.
Well, even if he is Canadian, I don't believe that would exclude him from holding the positions with an American team.
It would not, but
we would say Detroit, which is now Eastern Conference.
All right, one team getting points. It is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Good job,
Jeff.
Yes, it wouldn't preclude him, but he's a proud Canadian. He doesn't want to own an American team. Sure.
Is that the team that hasn't really won ever and really wants to win?
And forever?
Drought, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they were
Longest
really good
drought.
for a while, but longer ago than any of us would have been alive to remember.
No, I mean they've been good for a while. They just can't close.
They just can't close.
Oh, more recently.
Matt, when's the last time they won one? Like the 60s? It's been a while,
It's,
right?
it's been a long time, yeah.
All right, moving on to number 5. Coco Chanel is one of the most well-known clothing designers and perfumers. She comes from a pretty humble background and was raised in an orphanage. It was in the orphanage that she first learned how to sew. She didn't start off making perfumes, dresses, or pants, but rather worked as a milliner, which is someone who makes what kind of accessory item?
That's a great question. Also, I love so much that this is number 5.
And I think we're locked in.
And I can't imagine that wasn't intentional, but
I appreciate that, Jeff.
We're locked in.
All right, David, what does a milliner do?
Am I touching my hat for? Is it a hat? Can we make hats?
Oh, could be.
Did you know? Or were you asking me?
No, I'm curious. I can't remember.
Hats.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they make hats.
That makes sense to me. So
I think we lock in with hats.
Yeah, we think it's hats as well.
Very good, guys. It is hats.
Yeah, the only reason I know that one is because when I was in Hello Dolly, there's a scene where I had to flirt with the character or whatever. I was Cornelius, and it was in a millinery shop, and that's the only reason I know that one. But it stuck.
Master of their domain are masters of this game so far with 50 points. Significant shrinkage doesn't have significant ground to catch up, but 10 points behind with 40 points. And let's see where this goes into the second half of round 1.
All right. Question number 6. In 2018, a piece of artwork titled The Girl with the Balloon sold for $1.4 million at an auction at Sotheby's. The moment it sold, the artwork began to seemingly lower itself through its frame while being shredded in the process, but stopped before the balloon part was shredded as well. Who is the artist of this piece now titled Love is in the Bin?
We are locked in, and this cracked me up.
Oh, this was one of my absolute favorite things in human history.
What year did you say it was?
2018.
Yeah, I think we were in Iceland when this I have a distinct memory of being in the hotel room in Iceland with you.
Oh, it could be.
In bed together? Looking at paintings? What's going on?
Well, we were in bed together, separately together, but together nonetheless. Yeah, David, this is potentially the lead singer from Massive Attack, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Allegedly.
Very allegedly.
I know. Ken always just likes to mention that, but I'm positive this is Banksy. Do you agree?
Is it Banksy? I figure it sounds like something Banksy would do, so
yeah.
That would have been my guess.
No, love me some Banksy. And apparently it was supposed to destroy the whole thing, but it broke. And
jammed.
Yeah, hence the reason it didn't get completely destroyed. But
it's organic, you know.
Yeah.
We also said Banksy.
That's right. It is Banksy. Good job, guys. I just have to give my husband a little shout out on that one because that was inspired by the.
Is he Banksy?
Yeah, don't tell anybody. It was inspired by it's a super shredder. I don't know why we say that all the time, and we recently rewatched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's not how they say it. So much of this game did I have to go back and look at quotes all over again to realize we've been quoting them wrong for years.
me and Neal know a little thought about that, so don't worry about it. And first Turtle movie is great. So.
Yeah, the second one I quote still to this day. It's when anytime I push on something, I go, yeah.
So do we.
Minor conspiracy theory. Do you think that they inspected it and they realized it was going to do it and they let it go anyways? How did they not catch that?
Oh, the
painting?
The frame, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Question number 7. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego was a children's television show based on the Carmen Sandiego computer game. The show was partially in response to the results of a survey that indicated Americans had very little knowledge of world geography. However, after wrapping on season 1 in 1992, the entire season was rendered geographically inaccurate due to the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the breakup of which former Southeast European country?
Well, I was way off on where I thought it was going. I put
It's a really
Rockapella.
long question. I saw you.
I was going to be Rockapella, Greg Lee.
Oh, I was already like rock, not to Rockapella.
Yeah, I put Rockapella.
All right, I think we're locked in regardless. And just for the record, I did used to watch this show, but it did not help my geography at all. So,
yeah, we've been around a lot longer than that, and I still haven't improved your geography. So,
So
the question:
I know Kazakhstan is landlocked.
Kazakhstan is divorced now. Or, I mean, Borat's divorced now.
Who do you think Kazakhstan is?
When we were looking for a Southeast country, I was all excited we were going to talk about the loot or the warrant or the crook. But I think this is is this Yugoslavia?
So Southeast European, right? Is that the question?
Southeast European, Southeast European. That sounds Yugoslavic, right? It would be. It's not Asia, right?
No, I would definitely say in that area. I can't remember Yugoslavia breaking up that fast, but maybe it did. And
it's the right time frame. I mean,
we're right there. So
I'm not sure what else. I mean, it could be Bosnia, but Yugoslavia split up into.
Yeah, that and Bosnia and Herzegovina would have been part of former Yugoslavia. So yeah,
I think it's Yugoslavia. That would be my guess.
Sounds good.
Yes, for all those reasons they said, Yugoslavia.
And everybody is right. It is Yugoslavia. All right, number 8. Mr. Snuffleupagus, or Snuffy for short, is one of the characters on Sesame Street and Big Bird's best friend. Snuffy went on Good Morning America to meet his hero, who in turn thanked him for helping a whole generation of kids to be able to pronounce his name properly. What longtime political commentator and television show host is Snuffy's hero?
David, I'm pretty sure I can lock in.
Oh, do it.
Okay, we're gonna lock in.
All
you guys
right,
can talk out
Jeff's
loud.
been watching Sesame Street, and he's got a deep knowledge of it.
Got the box set on DVDs, popping in every day.
Well,
I do know that
it turns out that he can rock khakis like Steve Kornacki. That's why. So
I do know that per Patton Oswalt, Snuffy's fur used to be snowy white until he was struck by the heartbreak of pubic lice.
I was just gonna say maybe he just liked the up of cocaine or something.
If you guys haven't heard the Sesame Street pubic lice bit, you must. It's phenomenal.
So I do love Snuffleupagus because I read a lot of Snuffleupagus fanfic. But
yeah, Neal's a real furry.
I am. You got Big Bird, you got Snuffleupagus. It's a good time. But
Is that what snuff films are about?
That's exactly what snuff films are about. So, Ken, I'm trying to think of a political commentator who became a host. It's got to be someone who, like, later on was probably like on a CNN.
Yeah. What about like Anderson Cooper?
Would people have trouble pronouncing his? Oh, what about Sanjay Gupta? Or he's not he was on TV, but he wasn't a politician though.
I don't think it has anything. Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily a person with a hard to pronounce name. Right?
Oh, you think it could just be anyone, but he was just the guest star?
Or what about Stephanopoulos?
That's got to be a George Stephanopoulos.
All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah, as much as I would love it to be James Carville, I think they're right. We said George Stephanopoulos.
I'm just cracking up thinking about if like Snuffleupagus appeared with like a super hardcore conservative host. Just like, this is my hero. They're like, no, Snuffleupagus, no.
You're my hero, Glenn Beck.
You guys are both right. George Stephanopoulos. Very good. Okay, number 9. Charles Ludwig Dodgson was an English poet, mathematician, and author. He is well known for his children fantasy literature and what are known as literary nonsense poems, including The Hunting of the Snark. He is better known by which pen name?
Okay, Ken, so I know it's not T.S. Eliot, because in Midnight in Paris, Owen Wilson says his full name, and it's not.
Well, when I think about nonsense poems, I think of Lewis Carroll.
Yeah.
And I think of Shel Silverstein.
Yep. Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Can you think of any others?
Those are those are the big 3.
It's the holy trinity of nonsense.
It is. I mean, Snark sounds very Dr. Seuss, but we know his real name.
Should we just go with Lewis Carroll?
Yeah, maybe we just go. Yeah, maybe we just go with it.
And we agree. We said Lewis Carroll.
Very good. It is Lewis Carroll. Number 10. Which well-known neurologist said, "What is common in all these dreams is obvious. They completely satisfy wishes excited during the day, which remain unrealized. They are simply undisguisedly realizations of wishes."
I mean, is it like Freud or somebody?
Honestly, that's
she's calling her a neurologist, but right, like,
right.
What else would it be? I would go with Freud, and I think maybe it's just a clever way of phrasing a question with a
I'm good with
simple-ish
with
answer.
Sigmund Freud.
Let's go. Let's try that one.
Yep, we just wrote that down right away because we don't know where else to go. So Freud.
It's the right way to go. Sigmund Freud. Good job.
Join us on our spin-off podcast, The Oedipal Complex.
Do you say the Edible Complex, where we review different strands of illicit substances?
No, it's the Oedipal Complex, where we review hot moms.
Where we all fantasize about killing our fathers and marrying our moms. Yeah. It's one episode.
Matt, what's the score?
And it was a Master for our domain. Perfect through one round, 100 points. Significant shrinkage just behind it, 90 points, meaning it's anyone's game.
Thank you, Matt.
Before we get to the swing round, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of our patrons, including Lauren and David, helping the show continue to grow. As we said maybe a few weeks back, just for the small price of a coffee at $5 a month, you get boatloads of audio content, hours and hours, including weekly Patreon bonuses. And for as little as $1 a month, you get all of our new episodes ad-free, which I think is a pretty good deal, Ken.
Yeah, that's right. Our show is growing, and now it's about the size of a matter baby.
Yes, that's right, and we're not going through significant shrinkage.
You're just gonna blow past that. You're not gonna feed me.
What's the matter, baby? I don't even know what that is.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, okay. I should have fallen for that. Yeah.
I was like, oh, he obviously knows this joke.
I did not know.
Past it.
I was just like, I'm not smart enough to know what a matter baby is, so why am I going to comment on it? So I was like, I'm just going to blow past it. But
that's fine.
But what I am smart enough about, though, is Patreon, because it's helping us continue to grow, where you can get loads of Updog, and you can in your weekly inbox. But yeah, if you'd like to join Lauren and David and countless others, we're on our road to 600 this year in 2024. We're about 23 to go. You can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
So I had a dream the other day that once we hit 600 patrons, I exploded like a joyous firework, and I don't know what that's about, but.
You're like the characters in Big Trouble in Little China.
We'll have to ask Freud what that was about. We'll
see.
All right. On that note, we're ready for the swing round. So what do you got for us?
All right. The swing round is a mashup round called Meet Cutes. I will give you 2 clues that overlap each other by a word or a sound. All of these things are somewhat related to romantic comedies, movies, books, or songs. So I have an example of one that is of overlapping by a sound instead of a word, which I know you guys are all good with, but it's one of my favorites, it just didn't quite fit my theme here. So I'm using it as my example. But the example is the actor who originated the role of Eliza Hamilton meets Larry Thomas's character on Seinfeld, who is known for his strict ordering practices.
It's a Philippa Soup Nazi.
Yeah.
There you go. Philippa Soup Nazi. All right.
Yeah.
Number 1. The TV show of 4 girlfriends and their relationships while living in New York meets the Western comedy where Mitch receives a 2-week trip on a cattle drive as a birthday gift and assists with the birth of Norman. Number 2. The 2012 rom-com drama that was nominated for 8 Academy Awards but only took home an Oscar for Best Actress meets the hilarious Broadway religious-ish musical from the co-creators of South Park. Number 3. In perhaps Marilyn Monroe's best comedic performance, this 1953 romantic comedy that follows 3 friends on their pursuit to marry a rich man meets the 1997 political action thriller that takes place mostly in the sky. Number 4, Song by the Cure that goes through the days of the week meets romance novel by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, showing that distance can kill love, or that at the very least, infidelity will. Number 5, the rom-com of 1999, where a cute bookshop owner falls for a starlet, meets the actor of the titular character for Disney Channel's show about a young girl navigating her way through being a teen with an animated version of herself to express her inner thoughts. Number 6, the best fantasy romantic comedy that has Owen Wilson interacting with Ernest Hemingway and Zelda Fitzgerald meets the 1990 documentary about what is known as the ballroom culture of New York City and the queer communities involved in it. Number 7, the 2009 rom-com starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel meets The Song from Greece, where the backup characters can't help but say, "Tell me more, tell me more." Number 8, the rom-com where a risk-adverse risk management employee falls for an old classmate who is a free spirit with a pet ferret meets the arguably most notably recognized assassin of the 1960s. Number 9, the rom-com starring Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel become overnight parents while finding love meets the movie where Claudette Colbert plays a socialite looking to lose the control of her father while she falls for a roguish character played by Clark Gable. And number 10, the rom-com of Ted trying to reconnect with the potential love of his life while navigating 2 imposters trying to do the same thing meets the woman who is practically perfect in every way.
All right, we have our questions, and we'll be back with our answers.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end,
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
We have our answers to the swing round, so let's hear those riddles one more time, and we'll give our answers.
All right. Number 1, the TV show of 4 girlfriends and their relationships while living in New York meets the Western comedy where Mitch receives a 2-week trip on a cattle drive as a birthday gift and assists with the birth of Norman.
We locked in with Sex and the City Slickers.
And we agreed, Sex and the City Slickers.
Yep, Sex and the City Slickers is correct. Number 2, the 2012 rom-com drama that was nominated for 8 Academy Awards but only took home an Oscar for Best Actress meets the hilarious Broadway religious-ish musical from the co-creators of South Park.
I just saw this one in Pittsburgh, actually, the musical. It's Silver Lining Playbook of Mormon. Silver Lining Playbooks of Mormon, I guess.
We said Silver Linings Playbook of Mormon.
Very good. Both got it. Number 3, In perhaps Marilyn Monroe's best comedic performance, this 1953 romantic comedy that follows three friends on their pursuit to marry a rich man meets the 1997 political action thriller that takes place mostly in the sky.
We said How to Marry a Millionaire Force One.
Once again, we are in agreement. How to Marry a Millionaire Force One.
Good job, guys. It's one of my favorites. Number 4. Song by The Cure that goes through the days of the week meets romance novel by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, showing that distance can kill love, or at the very least, infidelity will.
Jeff locked in early on this one, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, no problem. Both right in my wheelhouse. I said this is Friday. I'm in love in the time of cholera.
We agree. Friday, I'm in love with the time of cholera.
Very good. Both are correct. Number 5. The rom-com of 1999, where a cute bookshop owner falls for a starlet, meets the actor of the titular character for Disney Channel's show about a young girl navigating her way through being a teen with an animated version of herself to express her inner thoughts.
We said Notting Hillary Duff.
Notting Hillary Duff.
Notting Hillary Duff is right. You guys are crushing this. Number 6. The best fantasy romantic comedy that has Owen Wilson interacting with Ernest Hemingway and Zelda Fitzgerald meets the 1990 documentary about what is known as the ballroom culture of New York City and the queer communities involved in it.
We said Midnight in Paris is Burning.
Wow. We agree. Midnight in Paris is Burning.
Good job. Number 7. The 2009 rom-com starring JGL and Zooey Deschanel meets the song from Grease where the backup characters can't help but say, "Tell me more, tell me more."
We said 500 Days of Summer Lovin'.
500 Days of Summer Lovin'.
You guys are so close.
What did I say? Summer Lovin'?
Nights.
I have it written down.
Oh, I did write Summer Lovin'. Yeah, that's okay.
That's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where he says it at the end, ridiculously high pitched.
You didn't consult my sheet.
No, I was singing it in my head. I wasn't even thinking about it.
All right, number 8. The rom-com where a risk-averse risk management employee falls for an old classmate who is a free spirit with a pet ferret meets arguably the most notably recognized assassin of the 1960s.
Well, on a Masters Sunday, it's a great character in that movie, Sandy Lyle, former Masters winner. Along came Paul Lee Harvey Oswald.
We agree. Along came Paul Lee Harvey Oswald.
Good job. Both of you got it. All right, number 9. The rom-com starring Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel become overnight parents and finding love meets the movie where Claudette Colbert plays a socialite looking to lose the control of her father while she falls for a roguish character played by Clark Gable.
We said Life as We Know It happened one night.
We agreed. Life as We Know It happened one night.
Good job. Both are right. And number 10, the rom-com of Ted trying to reconnect with the potential love of his life while navigating two imposters trying to do the same thing meets the woman who is practically perfect in every way.
Well, there's something about Mary Poppins.
We agree. She has a lot of tricks in that bag. We said there's something about Mary Poppins.
Awesome job, everybody. Super good.
Great clues.
All right. After that swing round, we're still 10 points apart. Both teams won, making it 145 to 135.
All right. Round 2, number 1. The song With a Little Help from My Friends certainly had its share of controversy. John Lennon swore it was not about drugs. However, politicians were having none of it. Which vice president claimed that American youths were being brainwashed into a drug culture, pointing out that the lyrics, "I get by with a little help from my friends, I get high with a little help from my friends," clearly shows the song is about drugs. He would become the second VP in U.S. history to resign from office.
All right, we're just going to say Richard Nixon because we having trouble. Maybe he double resigned his vice and then resigned.
The double president. Rainbow of politics.
And we think that this is Nixon's vice president, Spiro Agnew.
Oh. Yeah, I knew he resigned.
Who resigned before Nixon, hence leaving the opportunity for him to appoint Gerald Ford.
That's right. It is Spiro Agnew.
It's a good name.
Number 2. An orange whip is basically an orange Julius, but with alcohol. It contains orange juice, cream, vodka, and what other liquor?
Jeff, I think I know this one.
Okay, what do you think?
I just want to make sure I'm reading the question right. It's very funny because it literally, I don't know. Yeah, I'm almost positive. Isn't there like a famous line from the Blues Brothers movie? I'm almost positive. It's like a John Candy line. It's like orange whip.
That's exactly what it is. 3 orange whips.
I think Lauren is in my Twitter feed or something because there's like a funny, that's like a shirt or something that some account I follow is like, he always posts a John Candy clip and it's hilarious. But I'm pretty sure, Jeff, it's rum.
Okay.
We said Grand Marnier.
Grand Marnier, which is an orange liqueur.
But we don't know.
Yeah, when I play tested this, that was the same guess my husband gave of Grand Marnier, but it is rum.
Oh, duh.
Good job, David.
I just want to know the astronomical odds that I actually looked up what an orange whip was last night because it was in this quote and it was literally a night or two ago. And I was like, what is an orange whip? And then I was like, this looks delicious. It looks like an alcoholic, basically orange Julius. I don't know, Lauren.
Sometimes you just get lucky.
The stars align.
I could use an orange Julius. I haven't had one in years.
Like an orange whip looks like odd. Like I feel like I don't know if the orange whip needs to be more popular than it is. It looks delicious.
All right, number 3. Silbo Gomero is known as the whistling language and is a register of Spanish dialect on which archipelago comprised of 7 main islands and many smaller ones in the Atlantic Ocean.
All right, we're gonna lock in on this one. Not 100% sure, but decent guess.
David, was your gut going towards the Canary Islands?
No.
Ooh, what were you thinking?
Better. I was actually thinking maybe the Bahamas, but maybe now I'm thinking you would describe the Bahamas as being in the Caribbean Sea, right? Not the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And now if you say that, well, again, Lauren, we're on the same. I'm wearing a Pitt cap, and Pitt has 2 basketball players literally from the Canary Islands. They are twins. They are 7 feet tall, and that makes a lot of sense because they are Spanish. So yeah, Jeff, let's go with it.
Okay.
Plus, it's a whistling language, so I like your answer. We're saying Galapagos though, because I haven't heard of this.
Very good. For all those reasons, it is the Canary Islands. They're the only Spanish dialect archipelago in the Atlantic.
Well, Neal, this second round is taking a dark turn for us. There's been significant shrinkage of our score.
Significant shrinkage, and this is kind of what happened to Snuffleupagus' life after the cocaine. It's just a downward spiral, so...
Well, this next question is based on a quote from Clueless. Not that it has anything to do with the movie Clueless, but I know Clueless is in Neal's wheelhouse anyway.
If.
Number 4. Perhaps one of the most iconic landmarks in the United States is the Statue of Liberty. However, that isn't the actual name of the statue. What is the real full name of the Statue of Liberty?
So Liberty is the figure. So I know it's Liberty, and I think it has to do with the torch, being the torchbearer, like she's like shining like light on the world or something like that, but I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes.
Liberty is, so you think it's Liberty shines light on the world?
Like Liberty like enlightening the world or something, or
well, that's a good word.
Illuminating the world, or
well, if you thought it was light, I would go to enlightening.
Okay. We'll say Liberty enlightens the world.
Okay.
That sounds like a phrase too, so.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, Neal, I wrote Lady Liberty shining a light for democracy, and what did you write?
And I wrote Liberty enlightening the world.
So we're going to go with Lady Liberty enlightening the world.
Oh, both of you guys are so close. Neal and Ken, you added a word too many, and other guys didn't quite get it quite right. It's Liberty enlightening the world.
Okay.
Oh.
I know.
I think we were close.
He did, and so did Neal.
We were close, though.
Yep.
You guys are so close.
I've never heard that before.
I hadn't heard it either before. All right. Number 5. The design of the Big Gulp Cup has an interesting history and only came about due to the original manufacturing company moving to Canada and having to shut down. This meant a new production company had to be found fast, as Big Gulps were beginning to sell out at 7-Eleven stores across the nation. What was the original design of the Big Gulp that could hold 32 ounces of liquid?
The big mouth.
Big mouth?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something stupid there.
Like a dune popcorn
It's a dune
bucket.
popcorn bucket.
Yeah, dune popcorn
for
bucket.
big gulp.
So did you see Deadpool announce they're releasing a popcorn bucket? That's going to be awful. Intentionally.
I don't know this one, Jeff. I don't
know. Maybe it was shaped like the number 7, which would have made it really hard to clean.
Was it like a box? Was it a
box? A box is interesting. We could say a box.
Okay, let's get, what's in the box? Maybe that's your movie quote.
Oh, yeah,
It's a square cup. We're saying it was in the shape of a baby bottle. Like it was just a big baby bottle.
And you guys are saying a box?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big juice box.
Big juice box.
I mean, you're not far off with a big juice box. A milk carton.
Oh.
That's what they used for the original Big Gulp, was a milk carton.
Like free water.
Yeah, if we were doing golf scoring, you guys had a great round. Shooting 0, 135 in shrinkage, 175 for Masters of the Domain, getting a little bit of a lead going to the back half of the second round.
All right. Question number 6. Nightcrawler is a mutant from the Marvel comic universe with the abilities of superhuman reflexes, the ability to teleport, and to cling to any surface. He is considered a member of the X-Men and was first portrayed in X2, X-Men United, by which Scottish actor?
Locked in.
We're good, yeah.
It's like I have like Michael Sheen in my head, but that's wrong. It's plus I think he's Welsh.
He is Welsh, yep.
This is gonna drive me nuts.
Michael Sheen was
Alan. I think it's Alan Cummings.
Alan Cumming or Cummings?
Alan Cumming.
I think it's I don't think it's
Alan Cumming. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we agree. Alan Cumming.
It is Alan Cumming. I had the weirdest crush on him when I was like a young teen.
Which
Anyway,
role?
don't even know why I mentioned that.
Which role was the crush?
Josie and the Pussycats.
What's the Mini Driver, Chris O'Donnell,
Eyes Wide Shut.
Circle of Friends.
Oh, Circle of Friends, yeah.
He is in Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
He's the hotel attendant.
I assumed you'd like him in Cabaret. That's what he was. He played the MC, the Joel Grey role.
I
when
do
he's
love
shirtless.
him in Cabaret.
Yeah.
No, he's amazing in that too. But no, for whatever reason, the villain that he plays in Circle of Friends was really my thing when I was 10. So, okay. Number 7. Mammatus are pouch-like protrusions hanging from the undersides of clouds and are often associated with severe weather. They are typically hanging from rain clouds known as thunderheads. What is the scientific name of a thunderhead cloud?
All right, I think we don't know our cloud names, but we're picking a cloud.
What do you think, Jeff? Some sort of cumulo something?
Yeah, you got your cumulus.
Cumulonimbus?
Could be. I don't remember what.
Cumulonimbus was the name I had in my head, but that might just be a nice white puffy cloud, not a rain cloud. I don't know.
Is that a spell from Harry Potter?
It's the name of his
Happy
broom,
Little
I
Cloud.
believe.
The nimbus is, yeah. Yeah, some kind of. I think cumulonimbus sounds good.
Okay.
All right, we're just saying Nimbus because whatever.
Thanks for the effort, Ken.
We don't know clouds. We don't know our clouds.
Well, it is cumulonimbus.
We don't know them in real life. We don't know them in the digital sense.
Cumulonimbus. Get out of here.
I think we should get points for Nimbus.
I should get points for coming up with Romulus.
I think if you didn't give up, you could have had points, but
I don't think we never would have gotten a cumulonimbus.
I didn't give up. There was no giving up.
I was about to be like, do you want to be more specific? Until he goes, because whatever. And I was like, well, then, okay, fine.
It's because I didn't have a justification for it. I just picked a cloud name.
All right. Number 8. Vegans might want to be aware that lard, which is an animal byproduct, is used in many things other than just food and for baking. It can be found in soaps, moisturizers, and even as lubricant in some machinery. What animal does lard typically come from? And 2 bonus points if you can tell me what the name of the highest grade of lard is that is typically used in baking.
All right, I think we're locked in on both accounts. I think I know the animal, and Neal watches Bake Off, so he knows the highest grade lard.
And I massage it on myself daily.
All right, David, I'm fairly confident lard comes from pigs.
Oh.
You might call yourself a Lard Man.
I'm a lard man. But I couldn't tell you what the name of the highest grade of lard is. Lardus supremus.
Love it. I'll grease you down. We agree that it comes from pigs. And what was the highest grade of lard known to man?
If I'm correct, hopefully I'm correct, I believe it is leaf lard.
Very good. Lard comes from pigs, and the highest grade is leaf lard.
Is that 5 points for the bonus?
2.
No, we tried. Oh, we almost got a few extra there. We're getting smoked in the second round, though.
Just like
we got
a
some
fine pig.
Some bonus points coming up ahead. All right. Number 9. Vietnam ranks as number 2 on the list of top coffee producing countries. Can you tell me any other 2 countries that are among the top 5 in the world?
All right. I think we're locked in with 2 answers.
So, Jeff.
Yes.
Colombia, Brazil. I mean, those were the first 2 that came to my brain.
Yeah. I definitely had Brazil and Colombia on my list. See a lot of Colombian blends in my day. And then
Did you know that's not coffee you're drinking? It's decaffeinated Colombian coffee crystals.
And then I think Indonesia is one of the other ones.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Where we get Java, maybe. I don't know. Maybe don't fact check me, people. But I think Brazil and Colombia are great guesses.
Yeah, I think we go with those 2. Okay.
Yep. I wrote down Ethiopia, Ecuador, Kenya. You wrote down Colombia, Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go with a combination, say Ethiopia and Colombia.
Ethiopia is a good one.
All right, guys. Only one team getting points. Not really. Only one team getting points. And the top 5 countries in order, starting with number 1 is Brazil. Number 2, Vietnam. Number 3, Colombia. Number 4, Indonesia. And the 5th is Honduras. Okay, number 10 is worthy. I apologize in advance. But it's a sting question because there has to be a sting question. Number 10. The question's
so long.
That's why it's so long. Exactly. Just keeps on going. The musician Sting has had many top 100 hits over the years. His top song was while he was with the band The Police, and their song Every Breath You Take is still the highest charted song to date. His second highest chart-topping song was not with The Police, nor on any of his solo albums. What song is Sting's second highest chart-topping hit that was done for a movie as part of a trio with Rod Stewart and Bryan Adams?
We can lock in.
Unfortunately, I'm sure as soon as we hear it, we're going to just be beside ourselves, but I cannot remember.
What do you want to say? Roxanne?
Sure. We'll go with the classic Police song. We'll say Roxanne.
Yeah. So Sting was teaching us, if you are going to go for a long time, it's always better to have a big party, a lot of people at the same time. So he joined his...
At least 3.
At least 3. So for the 3 Musketeers, we said it was All for Love.
Oh. Yeah, very good. It was the song All for Love from the movie 3 Musketeers.
I'm not upset because I couldn't even tell you I know how that song goes.
All right, after the second round, masters of their domain going into the final with 215 points. Maximum shrinkage, I guess, or significant shrinkage is significantly behind 167, but it's anyone's game. Let's go to the final.
But before we go to our final, Matt, we do want to talk a little bit about Patreon and all the great benefits you can receive for $1 a month. No ads, including this ad. You won't hear this if you're on Patreon for $1 a month.
Yeah, just think about it. One of the best parts of being a $1 patron is episode shrinkage.
That's right.
That's true.
Because they are all shorter
3 minutes.
because they don't have the ads.
3 minutes of your life.
Actually, maybe more
will be
than
given
that.
back to you for just $1.
Depending on how much we preamble right now.
57 minutes of pleasure, 3 minutes of not having to hear ads.
If you're feeling a little more generous, $5, you get all that extra content.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
Days and days of extra content.
And weekly bonuses.
That's right.
To engorge your podcast playlist.
And if physical treasures are your game, just raise your donation a little bit higher. You can get posters, character boxes, Triviality box, stickers, a lot of fun stuff. So
many titillating goodies over there.
Yeah. Check out patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And on to the final round. What do you have for us today?
All right, for the final round, I will give you movie quotes as names of the categories. Like I said, this entire game was made up of being inspired by movie quotes. However, this time around, you guys wager however you would like. But if you can tell me the movie the category quote is from, you get an extra 5 points. Okay? Category 1, quote is, "A gun rack. I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. What am I going to do with a gun rack?" Category 2, between two characters eating cake. "Do you only do armadillos?" "No, I can do anything except snakes. I don't have the counter space." Category 3, "Things go wrong. You can't explain it. You can't predict it." Category 4, between two characters. "You must be Igor." "No, it's pronounced Igor. But they told me it was Igor." "Well, they were wrong then, weren't they?" And category 5, what about Brett Favre?
So, Neal, we're significantly behind here, so I think we need to bet significantly.
I agree.
So we're just going to go all in and hope that this round trends like the first round, not the second.
All right. Well, no sense. We've been doing great. No sense taking our foot off the gas now. Let's just
see how badly you can beat us.
Exactly.
All right. All the wagers are locked in. Let's go ahead and get the questions.
All right. Number 1. In which war was the Gatling gun first used? Number 2. There are 21 different types of armadillos, all of which are present in South America. But the 9-banded armadillo is the only one in the United States. Which state is the only one to list the armadillo as one of its official state animals because just one animal wasn't enough? Number 3. In season 21, episode 12 of The Simpsons, Marge and Homer are drafted onto one of the USA Winter Olympic teams. Despite the odds against them, they sweep Sweden and win the gold medal. In real life, 8 years later, at the 2018 Winter Games, the USA comes out on top with a gold medal in their final match against Sweden. What was this sport that was featured in the same matchup end result? Number 4. Igor is a studio album that critics received well in 2019, noting that it built upon the hip-hop and neo-soul sound created in the preceding album Flower Boy. The single Earthquake was released to help market the album. Igor is the 5th studio album by which American rapper and producer? And number 5, Brett Favre played in the NFL on 4 different teams over the course of 20 years. He holds 2 records, one for the most pass attempts and the other for doing what 321 times?
All right, we have our questions, and we'll be right back to find out who will be today's cream of the crop. And all the answers are now locked in, so let's find out how we did.
All right, category 1 is a gun rack. I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. What am I going to do with a gun rack? And the question was, in which war was the Gatling gun first used?
Yeah, so we said the quote was from Wayne's World, great movie, taking place in Chicago. And as far as the war is concerned, our knowledge here was from the movie The Last Samurai. We know they introduced it in that movie, which was technically after the Civil War, but we think it's in between the Civil War and World War I, but we said Civil War to be safe.
Maybe limited use.
Limited use, yeah.
We agreed on the quote. I don't know how far Aurora, Illinois is to Chicago. I know parts of that movie take place in Chicago, but
not far.
Yeah, definitely Wayne's World. And we said the U.S. Civil War for the war. And I think we wagered 30 all the way down, right, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Both teams are correct on both Wayne's World and the Civil War. All right, category 2. Clue is between two characters eating cake. Do you only do armadillos? No, I can do anything except snakes. I don't have the counter space. And the question is, there are 21 different types of armadillos, all of which are present in South America, but the 9-banded armadillo is the only one in the United States. Which state is the only one to list the armadillo as one of its official state animals because one animal just wasn't enough?
We wagered 30 on this one. I haven't seen this movie in a while, but I did remember a giant red velvet armadillo cake and steel magnolias. And for the state, yeah, you don't mess with Texas. I assume they probably are a big enough state with a big enough ego to have, 2 state animals. Let's go with Texas.
Yep, we agree. Steel magnolias for the quote and Texas.
Very good. Both are right. And I think Texas has 5 state animals. Okay, category 3. Quote was, things go wrong. You can't explain it. You can't predict it. And the question is, in season 21, episode 12 of The Simpsons, Marge and Homer are drafted onto one of the USA's Winter Olympic teams. Despite the odds against them, they sweep Sweden and win the gold medal. 8 years later, in real life, at the 2018 Winter Games, the U.S. comes out on top with a gold medal in their final match against Sweden. What was this sport that featured the same matchup and result?
We said the quote was from Twister, I believe, right?
A force of nature, baby.
Yeah. And I remember fondly watching the curling finals in Boston, I believe, with you fine
Oh, that's
folks.
right. That's right.
So we said curling.
And Lauren's game was dangerously close to a lot of my own personal history. And Lauren is now asking for the second time on Triviality about me and my wife's first date, along with my mother-in-law, to the movie Twister. So we said that was Twister and curling. So Twister and curling.
Very good, guys. The movie was Twister, and the answer is curling. And I want to say 3 other questions in this game were inspired by Twister quotes, because I don't know how it makes its way into my vernacular almost daily, but it does.
It's so good. It's one of the best.
It's so good. And there's a sequel coming out. I cannot wait.
Glenn Powell.
Is it going to be good?
Probably not, but
okay.
We'll see what happens.
Not.
We'll see what happens.
Whenever we're driving and there's even a stick in the road, my husband will be like, debris. One of those ridiculous things I love. Okay. Category 4, quote between 2 characters. You must be Igor. No, it's pronounced Igor. But they told me it was Igor. Well, they were wrong then, weren't they? And the question is, Igor is a studio album that critics received well in 2019, noting that it built upon the hip-hop and neo-soul of which American rapper and producer?
This one, we wagered 30. We said Young Frankenstein and Tyler, the Creator.
We agree. We said Young Frankenstein for the quote and Tyler, the Creator.
It's Frankenstein.
Good job. I love when he sticks the fork in his thigh. Yeah, you both are right. Young Frankenstein, Tyler, the Creator. Good job. And the last one, category 5, quote is, what about Brett Favre? And the question was, Brett Favre played in the NFL on 4 different teams over the course of 20 years. He holds 2 records, one for the most pass attempts and the other for doing what 321 times?
Yep. We said the quote was from There's Something About Mary, and we said that he did something maybe not quite as famous as Mark Sanchez once did it, but we said that he fumbled the most.
And we agreed that the quote was from There's Something About Mary, and we settled on he started 321 consecutive games at quarterback.
Awesome job. The quote is from There's Something About Mary, and the answer is 321 consecutive starts.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
All right. After some strenuous mathing, we have come to a conclusion in this game. And the significant shrinkage with a great score of 282, but they could not come close to
performance.
Thank you.
The juggernaut that was the masters of their domain, getting close to a perfect score, bonuses notwithstanding, with 390 points, making them today's, this month's, and this year's probably cream of the crop.
I'm unjustifiably in a position that I would rather not be in, but the cream will rise all the way to the top.
Yeah, that was just a Slumdog Millionaire game for you guys, so nice job.
Congratulations. We unfortunately saw a naked person across the window, and we were out very quickly. So Yes, but very, very good job. And David, you chose wisely today. So great job being a competitor and kicking our butts. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, your trivia night, if people can come visit you out in Pittsburgh?
Sure. As I always do, I suggest anyone who's made it to this point in the episode absolutely contribute to the show. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. Please be a Patreon member and give what you can. Shout out to Pittsburgh Bar Trivia, specifically the Strange Roots Wednesday night's game here. How about Team Better Late Than Never? They came in and they said, we heard you on Triviality, and they've been there ever since. They've been a great team. Lauren, thank you for writing a wonderful game. The halftime was a great before and after round. But yeah, it's always fun being here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take the free plug, but just more happy about trivia, bringing people together. It's always good to hear.
Great segue to Lauren. Thank you, David, for that. Lauren, what a wonderful game. Awesome questions, and we can tell you spent a lot of time on it, and it showed. Obviously, we didn't win, but it was fun playing it. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go today?
Well, thank you guys so much. My shout out is always 100% for Triviality, and please be a Patreon member and supporter if you can. David, great to meet you. I'm so glad that this ended up in your wheelhouse for sure. You never know when you're writing a game how it's going to land, so I'm glad it was good for you guys. And my final thing is more of a PSA as a dietitian. If everybody could love their bodies for what they do and not what they look like, I think we'd all be a little bit happier. So eat well and enjoy life.
Great words.
Advice. Thank you.
Yeah, great words. And speaking of enjoying life, if you enjoy this podcast, but you want to hear other podcasts to continue enjoying life, listening to different programs, Ken, where can they go?
Airwavemedia.com. Bet you didn't see that one coming, right?
I didn't.
Airwave Media is our network, and we thank them for being our network. They're a great network. And you can check out other awesome podcasts, such as The Film Vault, Investing for Beginners, and What If World.
Well, thank you. And just a big thanks once again to Lauren and Dave for joining us today, and for Jeff, Ken, and Matt. My name is Neal, and that was another episode, a great episode of Triviality.